Opening with the queen's pawn controls the center and usually leads to a more positional development of the pieces. d5 establishes a presence in the center, controls the e4 square, and opens up the light-squared bishop. Bishop f4 develops the dark-squared bishop to an active diagonal where it controls the center. The bishop is ready to be developed to an active square. This lets your bishop step into the game. Applying pressure to white's pawn chain. You protect a vulnerable pawn of your pawn chain. Out comes the knight and into the battle. That's a useful pin you found. This activates a piece and simultaneously wins time by attacking a bishop. You exchange pieces of equal value. Takes back. A good choice to move your threatened pawn. The bishop develops or moves for the first time. You further develop your pieces by moving the knight. Moving from its starting spot, the knight gets involved in the game. You followed a great chess principle and developed a new piece. The bishop moves from its initial position, joining the action. Castling kingside tends to be safer because your king is further from the center. This connects the rooks, which helps them work together. Good job, that's what I would have played too. This threatens to tactically win a pawn. Very good choice. Advancing the pawns in front of the king can compromise the king's safety. You had a chance to play something better. This is not the right idea. That was a fair trade. This forces the opponent to double castle pawns. That was an even swap of material. There were worse moves, but also something much better. You strike at the center with a pawn, taking away space from your opponent. This moves the queen to safety. Well done, an excellent move. A very strong play. Pawns are there to cover your castled king. Think twice before moving them. This is an equal trade. You take back. That's not a mistake, but it's not the best move either. You captured a free pawn. This ignores an opportunity to evade the check from the opposing queen. You take back the material at last. This loses a pawn. You overlooked an opportunity to tactically win a pawn. Takes back. This move is okay, but not what I would have played. The piece finds a new active square. Good job protecting your pawn. The bishop finds a new active square. Good job stepping in to defend your pawn. This allows the opponent to take an outpost with a knight. Your knight has a great outpost. This defends a vulnerable pawn by pinning one of its attackers. Your doubled rooks work great together. This leaves a pawn without defenders. You missed an opportunity to capture a free pawn. This permits the opponent to eventually win material. You overlooked an opportunity to win material through a tactic. This defends the attacked pawn. Not the best move, but not bad either. This ignores an opportunity to increase a bishop's scope by moving it to a better square. You ignored a better way to win a tempo by threatening a bishop. This move puts the bishop on a safer square. Your move created a backward pawn that will be easy to attack. This permits the opponent to create a passed pawn. This move choice loses a pawn. You overlooked an opportunity to capture a free pawn. The bishop was sacrificed, a stunning move. This wins a pawn. You captured back. This is the start of the endgame, and black is equal. You take back. Recaptures. This is a fine move. This makes a passed pawn. You captured back. A solid choice. Nice, definitely the right move. This defends a pawn, but puts the rook in a passive position. A better choice is often to activate pieces in the endgame, even at the cost of a pawn. This is the only move that works, and you found it. Your opponent, this is not the right idea. Yes, this is the way. This activates the king in the endgame by getting it off of the back rank. You should have spent more time in that position. This is the strongest option. You are setting up a blockade. This is the only move that works. This defends the attacked pawn. Your passed pawn advances to its goal. The pawn is now passed because it can no longer be challenged by pawns as it tries to promote. You are threatening to eventually win a pawn. Right on target. This is the way to win a pawn. This overlooks an opportunity to move a piece to safety. You missed a better way to tactically win a pawn. This allows the opponent to eventually win a pawn. This wins a pawn. This steps away from the checking rook. That pawn was yours for the taking. White was better off, but now their position is winning. Passed pawns must be pushed. Very precise. Your passed pawn is one step closer to promotion. This is the strongest option. The game is close to even, but you lost your winning advantage. This is the only good move. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. You step your king away from the checking pawn, pushing a passed pawn. Great use of your piece to blockade the pawn. The game was close to equal, but now black is in a losing position. You took advantage of your opponent's mistake and are winning. You offered your opponent the chance to trade off equal material. Placing a rook behind a passed pawn helps keep the pawn protected as it tries to promote. Your opponent has to watch that passed pawn. This threatens to eventually win material. You missed an opportunity to use a rook to counter a passed pawn. After all captures, this is an equal trade. Good job, that's what I would have played too. This permits the opponent to eventually win a rook. This wins a rook. The passed pawn moves towards its goal. You missed a better way to evade the check from the opposing pawn. That's an unfortunate error. You promote your pawn to a queen. This threatens to tactically win a queen. There is no stopping you from winning a pawn with the right follow-up. There were worse moves, but also something much better. That queen was yours for the taking. Right on target. You continue the checkmate attack. Very precise. Your move gets closer to checkmate. This is the strongest option. Getting closer to the forced checkmate. Right on target. You're continuing down the road to checkmate. Very precise. You continue the checkmate. This is the strongest. Your move gets close. Right on target. You continue the check. This steps away from the. You're still on the road. This steps away from the. Checkmate is always the best move.